Hey guys, Social Gamer here, and today we are doing what if Deku was a Jedi? And for the intro that you just saw, I'm also thankful for Narukami Dreamer, which he kindly gave me the intro. So pretty much, also by the way, give him some love, go subscribe to him, and also enjoy the videos too. Enjoy his videos; it's really cool, and I'm really thankful. So. I'll quit my yapping and let's continue to... Wait, what part I forgot, sorry? And it's part 3. Okay, so pretty much we're at part 3 of what if Deku was a Jedi. So pretty much, from what I remember, where we last left off is pretty much when Izuku and... Wait, sorry, what was the name? I'm sorry, wait. So pretty much, okay, from what I remember, now I remember the name, it is Sarina Hazuki, which also was created by Dreamer. So pretty much, if I remember correctly, where I last left off is when Serena pretty much got adopted by Ezra Bridger and Sabrina, I believe her name was. I forgot, I'm sorry, it's been a while since I did this what if. Mostly because I actually got a bit of a... I got kind of stuck for the story, like how do I continue the story and stuff like that. But I actually got a bit more clearer of an idea how to continue it. But I digress. So pretty much where we last left off, Serena, it was her first time going into school and also being in high school. And also she was learning of this Earth, this world or planet that she moved to with her new founded family, with Ezra and Sabrina. And also, pretty much, Ezra kind of proposed to Sabrina, actually kind of started dating, Sabrina. He didn't propose to her yet. And the key word, yet. They will down the line, but not now. I digress still, but pretty much, Izuku's still learning of how to use the Force. And Ezra has this kind of ideology, pretty much. What was that one? It's like that one Jedi from the part 1, like the first beginning, where when Anakin was pretty much a kid, and they took small Anakin, like kid Anakin Skywalker. It was not Obi-Wan, but the other one that was teaching Obi-Wan. I forgot his name. But you guys know who I'm talking about. But pretty much, I think it was Windu. I think it was Master Windu. I don't remember, but still. But pretty much, Ezra kind of had the philosophy that you can still use the power of the dark side, but you try not to lose yourself in it. You know what I mean? Which Izuku kind of understands, which he kind of sees it as a quirk too. He kind of sees the quirks aspect in it too. Like some villain quirks can actually be useful in a way. Like even the most villainous ones, like for example, taking a quirk, it can be useful. For you can take away a quirk from an actual criminal that is using it to harm others and give it back to him when he's in the cell so it cannot be harmful. Like, you know what I mean? So Izuku tries to see all of these different point of views and sees that it's not the fault of the quirk of the person. It's mostly because of the person and the situation that they grew up in. For example, let's take Shigaraki. He was pretty much born in an abusive, in a toxic house. Mostly because of his father. Pretty much because of that. That's just an example to teach you, just an example that I'm using. That's the best I can think of. If Shigaraki grew up with someone that was more supportive, someone that didn't hate superheroes or anything, and he still had the decay quirk, I think the family would have tried to help him understand what to do with it. Because Shigaraki would have been able to be a support kind of hero. He would be able to destroy some buildings that might be able to turn into dust like nothing. Like buildings that are falling and maybe making some pathways to safety, stuff like that. Because nothing is truly evil unless it's dependent on the person and the situation that they're in or that they grew up in, if you know what I'm trying to say. But I digress. Pretty much that's kind of like the point of view that Izuku has on quirks and also the dark side. And this is gonna and the dark side is gonna kind of bite him in the ass later. Not now, but you'll see why. So pretty much, Serena and Izuku go to the middle school. Pretty much, Serena is known as a transfer student, and also by the way, let's say Hisashi was able to help Ezra and Sabrina and Serena with making up false documents. Mostly because he had connection, a very powerful one, and that, in fact... Actually, no, they didn't fake their documents. They actually did make their real, legitimate documents. But the guy didn't ask questions, and they were able to make legitimate documents for being new citizens of Japan. Let's just leave it like that, for plot, okay? You guys might be like, how is that possible? Plot. That's it. There's your answer. Just let your imagination flow to think how they were able to do that. But digress, and let's go back to the story. Pretty much how I said last time, when she first went to the middle school, a lot of boys were eyeing her. She didn't know what was wrong and she mostly went with the excuse that she was homeschooled. Actually, she never went to an actual school. And Izuku is the only friend she knows, mostly due to their moms knowing each other a while ago. Well, that's mostly the backup story, really. And some of the boys were actually pretty much looking at her. Not the best kind of looking. They're pretty much, that includes Bakugo. Bakugo's still a piece of shit in this What If. Some of you may be a fan of Bakugo, but for now, he's gonna be a piece of shit. Yes, I like that he gets, I forgot the word, but pretty much he becomes a better person later on. Yes, I like that. I like that idea, but now he's a piece of shit. Do as you wish. You can hate me if you want, but still, this is my what if. But I digress. Pretty much, Izuku and Serena... Well, Serena mostly sticks by Izuku because she doesn't know what to do. And Izuku says, how is your... Pretty much they're just talking about school. And Serena is slowly and surely getting used to school. And some of the girls are getting a bit jealous. Mostly because she's getting the attention of other boys. And she's not trying to. She's just being her happy-go self. And sometimes she's, like, innocent. She has that innocence, too. She still has that innocence. And pretty much, one day, when Izuku said, I'll be back, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. Pretty much, he goes off. And you know what happens when the new kid is popular. She attracts bad people, or whatever, for hogging all the attention, with Serena just sitting there just playing on her phone, with the bully going up to her and grabbing her phone saying, what the hell do you think you're doing? With Serena just shyly saying, I'm waiting for my friend, that's all. Do you need any help? She's stuttering because she doesn't know how to interact with someone else normally. So Izuku kind of helps her out because he's the one that protects her from bullies. Well, some people that try to harass her and try to forcefully try to make a move on her, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like going into her space, kind of like that. With the girl saying, why the hell would are boys interested in you? With Serena just saying, I don't know. Please, can you just give me back my phone? With the girl being a bit, pretty much being a brat, she just stuck up and just says, what? What the hell are you... Pretty much just talking about how this girl shouldn't be in school, she should go back being homeschooled with her. And pretty much, Serena kind of gets a bit emotional with the girl noticing, saying, oh, is the little baby crying? Why don't you go cry back to your mommy? Pretty much being the typical, stereotypical bully. Well, not the one that physically hurts you. It's the one that mostly emotionally hurts you. You know what I mean? So pretty much that happens. But before the girl was about to hit Serena, pretty much. And of course, it was mostly because she was just ignoring her, and she took her phone with her. with Serena stopping her and being a bit pissed at this, saying, "Who do you think you are?" Pretty much being the stuck-up popular kid. And she was about to hit Serena until someone grabbed her hand, saying, "I don't think you should do that." Pretty much is Izuku. Pretty much grabbing the hand of the bully, saying, "Huh? Why is a quirkless loser doing this, huh? Protecting your little girlfriend?" With Izuku not batting an eye, saying, "So what if I am, With Serena blushing a bit because she heard correctly, but she thinks that he wasn't focusing. Oh, but she doesn't know that he was listening very well, and he does have feelings for her. He did grow feelings for her after these few months. Mostly her, of course, like after these few like weeks and months, stuff like that, knowing each other. So pretty much, the girl pretty much gets annoyed, and she says, "Why don't you get?" Pretty much being the stuck-up kid. I don't know what they would talk about really, but she would just say, "Get out of my way, for the quirkless loser. What would you do, huh?" And pretty much the three bullies show up their quirks. Pretty much, one girl was able to make blades out of like metal blades with her nails. The other one can camouflage, and the third one, and pretty much the main one that's bullying Serena is able to use fire. No, actually ice. No. Wait. What is a good quirk for her? Saws, why not? Let's just say saws. Saw blades that come out of her hair. With Izuku just not being fazed by this and just whistling, "Cool quirks." With the girls hearing compliments, pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, thanks. Thank you for the compliment." At least someone instantly Izuku just uses his force push to push the three back. With the girls confused, saying, "What? How did you?" And one of them said, "Maybe it's just luck. Maybe it's the bitch behind them." Stuff like that. Pretty much talking about Serena. With Izuku being a bit annoyed and kind of showing it, saying, "Can you please just leave us alone?" With the girl saying, "Huh? When what will you do about it if we don't?" Pretty much Izuku getting even more annoyed. Serena not noticing this yet because she kind of feels a bit more. She's kind of tearing up a bit because she doesn't know what to do. She's never been in this situation. She mostly avoided contact with people and stuff like that. She's mostly been alone for a long time. So this is like a first situation. So she doesn't know how to react and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But pretty much Izuku pretty much kind of notices that, and he just says, "Come on, let's just leave." With instantly Izuku getting her hair pulled by nothing when Izuku was trying to walk with her. Instantly, it was the girl that can camouflage, saying, "Where do you think you're going, bitch?" Pretty much being those type of people. Instantly, Izuku got extremely angry, saying, "Let her go." But it's mostly not the one that yells out saying, "Let her go." Not like that. It's the one that calmly says it, which kind of but kind of makes them feel, how do you know, threatened, pretty much. More threatened. And pretty much the girl doesn't let go and saying, "Huh? What will her little boyfriend do then, huh? Will you save her?" Pretty much taunting him, and he got pretty angry, to the point that he actually used some of the dark side. And he just used it and force choked her with his saying, "I said to let her go. And you are not listening, are you?" Pretty much raising her up in the air. Kind of the dark side is slow, kind of controlling him there, but instantly Serena just goes up to him saying, "Izuku, it's fine. Let her go. Please. Don't hurt her." Instantly, Izuku just looks at her and goes back to his senses and just says, and just sighs and just says, "Fine." And then he looks back at all three of them, with the other two going to their friend, pretty much taking deep breaths and they're all looking at him when he gets closer, and all of them look at him with fear, and he says, saying, "Next time you do that, I won't let you go freely without any scratches, even if you're girls. Got that?" And pretty much, the way he said it, he meant every single word. And the girls didn't actually felt that. Like, he meant every single word, you know what I mean? So pretty much, both Izuku and Serena just walk off. They get their bags and go. And with pretty much the bully kind of just getting annoyed, saying, "She got lucky. Her boyfriend was protecting her." With pretty much the one that was getting force chokes us, pretty much puts her hand on the bully's arm, saying, "Don't." And she's pretty much just shaking a lot, saying, "Let's just leave him alone." Okay. Pretty much shaking a lot and also breathing heavily. With pretty much with the bully just looking at, like, glaring at Izuku, like giving him daggers. And Izuku just looked behind him and just gave her a death stare that's filled with bloodlust, which Serena wasn't able to notice because she was feeling a bit too emotional. With the girls feeling that bloodlust, were kind of shitting their pants. Not really, but felt like it. They felt like they were gonna die just because of that pressure. So pretty much, the girls decided to not mess with Serena, while he's close by. So pretty much, this kind of was the routine. Serena kind of getting bullied, but Izuku coming in, stopping them pretty much the whole year. With, of course, the teachers are doing something, because mostly when the one teacher, actually, let's say in the first year, the first time when Serena was in, the teacher didn't do anything. That teacher did not do nothing. He knew about the whole bully thing. The other teachers didn't. Let's say that one teacher didn't know about it, but he didn't care. He just didn't care, really. He was just bad at his job. He was good at teaching, but bad as a teacher, as a person, more like it. And pretty much, Izuku asked the teacher why he isn't doing anything, and he just says, "Deal with it yourself, because it's not my problem." That's what the teacher said. With Izuku being extremely pissed, saying, "Okay." And pretty much, without the teacher knowing, Izuku was going to his app with the recorder, like voice recording app thing. With Izuku saying, "Why don't you want to do anything?" With the teacher saying, "All of you are just kids. Even if I did something, you wouldn't do anything. Besides, it's a waste of time." With Izuku saying, "But teachers should care for their students, aren't they? Supposed to?" With the teacher saying, "I don't give a damn." Pretty much being that horrible teacher, being crap and like emotionless and stuff like that, not caring. With the teacher just being like carefree and stuff, and he just says, "Besides, that idiot principal doesn't know anything about it." And instantly goes up to Izuku and says, "Kid, if you say anything what I told you to the principal," instantly his arm became a bit of a metal, but not, pretty much became a sharp metal. And you can hear it, like, how do you say it? You know, like when you unsheath a sword, it kind of sounds like that, saying shing, like unsheathing the sword. And he says, "I will cut you if you say anything." With Izuku saying, "Okay, I won't say anything." Pretty much, Izuku just walking off and outside the door, and pauses the recording. With Izuku saying, "I'm not saying anything. You're saying every single word yourself." So you're selling yourself out, you know that? Just thinking that. Instantly, he wanted to go to the principal's office. And luckily, the principal was still there doing paperwork. With Izuku knocking, and the principal saying, "Yes, come in." And the principal is a really nice guy. He cares for the students, he cares for things, but he can't do everything, like, by himself, you know? He can't be in one place and the other. He doesn't have a quirk. The principal is quirkless. So he uses he asks the teachers to look over his students. Which some of them, yes, most of them do, except for one teacher. Pretty much, let's say it's the canon teacher as canon for Izuku. The canon teacher that teaches Izuku's middle school. Well, his class. It's that exact teacher. He just acts like he cares. He doesn't really. So pretty much, Izuku goes up to the principal saying, excuse me, Mr. Principal. With the principal saying, young Midoriya, how are you? Is Miss Serena doing okay? She seems a bit down. Do you know why? With Izuku shaking his head saying, yes sir, it's just that she's being bullied. With pretty much the principal being serious saying, what? There's no bullying allowed in my class. And of course, this principal took it seriously about bullying because he does want his students to have a bright future. So pretty much, it's the teacher's fault for not doing anything. It's mostly because the principal is doing other things. Mostly trying to keep the school running, trying to help. And he sometimes does help students, In my what if, he's going to be like a nice guy. He's going to be caring. He's going to be telling people to do what they want to do. Even if some kids are quirkless and want to be heroes, he's telling them to not give up. Even though it may be difficult along the way and it may look impossible, they should try to look for in different directions, like different angles, to try to become a hero. He's that type of person that encourages, and because of that, Izuku was able to get encouraged because of that principal, thanks to him. But the teacher is just pretty much kind of like Bakugo. He just lets Bakugo and the other bullies do whatever they want. And some of the bullies weren't getting caught because mostly there's like a lookout. There's like one of those kids that look out and saying, the teacher's coming, hide the bully kid, stuff whatever. So pretty much that's the only reason why they didn't get caught. A lot of people, including Bakugo's little goons and stuff. So pretty much, and also letting you know, some of the goons actually do harass Serena. So pretty much, Izuku explains everything what's happening with Serena, and she's having a pretty horrible time. With the principal being annoyed, saying, what? Why didn't the teachers notice this? And why didn't they tell me? Is there anyone that knows this? With Izuku saying, yes, one teacher knows, but he doesn't care. With the principal saying, what? What's his name? Instantly Izuku saying, I have evidence too, just in case, if you didn't believe me. With instantly the principal saying, may I please see this evidence? Instantly, Izuku pulls out his phone and goes to the recording app and presses the little play button. And it literally, Izuku recorded most of the conversation, like the second half of the conversation, with pretty much the principal fuming. With Izuku saying, so, by the way, Mr. Principal, there was more about this, but I was only able to record half because I didn't know that this teacher particularly felt this way. With the principal being fuming, he says, he knew about the bullying the whole time, but he decided to not do anything. I'm gonna fire him tomorrow, and publicly, too. To make sure that he understands that students come first than his own selfish desires. So pretty much, Izuku said thank you, and also I may want you to ask him of the people that were bullying her, and I can tell you the mostly the 3 groups that were bullying her and harassing her. Well, Bakugo, by the way, he wasn't part of the harassing thing. No, he didn't do that. He was just someone that just that was something a bit more different for Bakugo. At that point, he wasn't like someone he just pretty much all bark, but no bite, you know what I mean? He's just bark. Like, he just threatens people, he doesn't really do much, he just threatens them, that's it. Most of the time it does work. But, I digress, and let's continue. With pretty much Izuku selling out all the other bullies besides Bakugo, because Bakugo didn't really bother Serena and Izuku, because Bakugo was just pretty much just dealing with his own thing. But he did stop Bakugo from bullying other kids, So pretty much, the principal noted them down. And instantly, let's go to the next day. And it's pretty much like the morning, Serena's feeling a bit down. With Izuku being next to her saying, Serena, are you okay? With Serena just being quiet. And he said, what happened? Are you okay? With Serena saying, yeah, it's just my parents were trying to comfort me for what happened. I never told them that I was getting bullied. So, pretty much Serena being extremely sad because of the constant bullying and harassment going on. With Izuku being angry at them, saying, don't worry, but being angry, but then calms himself down because for what the principal said. Saying that he's gonna suspend the students that were bullying him, and because of that, their grades are gonna go down, and also they might miss some of the exams for, well, some of the little tests that they're gonna take for like the whatever high school they were gonna go to. But he didn't say it out loud. He was thinking. So pretty much, then everyone goes to the auditorium, and instantly everyone sees, and pretty much were confused of why they were there. No, sorry. It goes to the mic saying that everyone, please go to the auditorium. The principal has an announcement. Please go to the auditorium. Everyone go to the auditorium. Thank you. It's kind of like that. So pretty much, Izuku was thinking, so maybe this is one. Instantly, every class and student goes to the auditorium, and instantly the principal is on the stage saying, hello students, I'm so happy that you're all here. I want to ask you a question. How are all of you today? Pretty much everyone was a bit confused, but since they all respected the principal, they all responded saying, we're all good, Mr. Principal, with some of the students stuttering because those were the ones that were mostly getting bullied. With the principal kind of looking around, kind of being observant on the reactions, and saw some of the kids kind of being nervous and actually looked like they're holding on to their arms because there actually are some bruises on some of them. Instantly, the principal says, well, today we are doing for a little, how do you say? Let's say goodbye to someone very, very, very well known here. Pretty much, some of the students thought that the principal was going to leave. But they were just keeping their thoughts to themselves, saying, and he just keeps going on with the CBC saying, and he will truly be missed. And pretty much says out the teacher that Izuku was talking to. With the teachers being extremely confusing. Wait, what? But, sir, I don't want to. Instantly, the principal says, and here is why. Pretty much, Izuku, and also a bit of a flashback to the day before, with the principal saying, let's just say there will be a bit of a meeting for everyone to know of what the teacher has been doing. And also, he will be fired immediately. But first, let's give him a little goodbye party, you know? And also, why? And also, is it okay, young Midoriya, if you can give me the recording, please? With you, yeah, sure, I can give it to you when I get back home. With the principal saying, that is very much obliged. Thank you. And I'm sorry for your childhood friend, Serena. I give her my deepest apologies. After the whole meeting is done, tell her to meet me in the office. And also bring her parents, too. Tomorrow, that is. Well, after school, please. With Izuku saying, okay. Yeah, sure. Instantly, Izuku walks out, and the principal says, before you go, Izuku. With pretty much Izuku stopping before the door. Well, he's opening the door and looks back, saying, yes, Mr. Principal? And pretty much the principal looks at Izuku saying, young man, you have a heart of justice, and a kind one at that. Don't change. Keep that golden heart, and strong sense of justice. You will be a fine young hero. Even though you may be quirkless, you're a fine young man, and a man of character. Keep sometimes you may have a tough time to understand what's happening around you, but it's a part of life. You grow as many experiences, gain a lot of experiences in your life, grow with people that you trust, and you will turn out fine. Live the best of your capabilities, and always save people with a smile. Good luck, future hero. And just smiles and just says, you may now go. And Izuku just smiles for what the principal said, with pretty much just saying, thank you, Mr. Principal. I hope you have a nice afternoon. And just smiles and leaves. With the principal, when the door closes, with the principal saying, I hope you too, young Midoriya. I can sense that you will have many challenges ahead. Some even more staggering than the last. But something tells me that you will overcome every challenge you may encounter. And just smiles. And then instantly remembers saying, now I will have to go and file this little firing report. Pretty much he starts on the work for firing the teacher. And also later on he looks up for the little papers for each student that Izuku told the names of pretty much instantly, and just said, and pretty much wrote down the numbers of the students' parents' numbers, pretty much saying, and I will have a meeting for each and every student of the bullies. Pretty much he also writes down for and he pretty much doesn't know who else was bullied, so he just says, and just thinks, saying, maybe I can see from everyone's reaction if I go to the auditorium. And just thinks of the idea, saying, now a perfect send-off for a man that did nothing for their students. Gets to be seen as the man that gets to be sent off. I don't want to be evil, but not treating students like humans is worse. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to some of the people that work, but for the greater good, for the better future. Instantly, he kind of thinks out a plan, and pretty much get an idea of that he was going to do a speech that made it think like people think that he was going to go off and hire someone else, that someone else is going to take his place, which pretty much did work. That everyone did think that the principal was going to go. But pretty much, let's go back to the part where the teacher was confused. Pretty much the teacher being confused and saying, Mr. Principal, what is this? With the principal just saying out loud, saying, you are someone that is fired. With the teacher being confused, what? But I work hard. And pretty much the principal saying, but you don't care for your students. Instantly, when the teacher heard that, he was looking at the crowd, and he didn't see Izuku because of the crowd, with the guy being extremely pissed off, with the principal saying, what are you looking for, Mr. Teacher? I forgot, I'm just going to make up the name, saying, Mr. Narukami. I'm just making up a, last name, okay, so don't hate me, I'm just making it up at the spot. Narukami, saying, what are you looking for, Mr. Narukami? With the teacher saying, with Mr. Narukami saying, nothing, sir, but why? Instantly, he pulls up a phone with a little play button and a little bit of a music insignia, like a little note, you know what I mean? With the teacher kind of confused, but then he kind of pieces it together, saying, what the? Instantly, he looks frequently near where the students are. And then, pretty much, instantly the principal just plays it. And only the teachers can hear it because they're on stage. He doesn't put it near the mic for, instant humiliation. And the teachers are hearing that pretty much he's been telling the kids, the bullies, that they can do whatever they want. He's been covering them up. He's been, making them just get complete A's. and asking for money in return, and pretty much telling them to, like, he can fail any classmate and stuff like that. And also pretty much being a corrupted teacher in a way, pretty much being a corrupted person, with every teacher looking at him with disgust, like absolute disgust. With the teacher saying, "That's false. I don't know what you're doing, but someone must have had a quirk for that. Someone must have had used my voice for." Instantly, pretty much, the principal saying, "I know you. I knew you would say that, but also, I have a little gift for you." Instantly says, "Sorry for the little disgust, but I need Mr. Izuku, young Izuku Midoriya up on stage." Instantly, Izuku stands up. He doesn't know what it's about, but he knows that he's not in trouble, with other kids kind of looking at him, some of them whispering and muttering among them, with Serena being a bit nervous being alone, because the bullies are behind her. Instantly, Izuku goes up on stage, and the principal saying pretty much says, "Ah, young Midoriya, good to see you. Also, may I ask if something is true?" With Izuku saying, "What is it, Mr. Principal?" With the principal saying, "Is it true that there are bullies in my school?" With every bully hearing this, they were sweat dropping. There was like some sweat dropping from them. With Bakugo not even caring, because he just thinks, I can maybe go to a different school, whatever. Doesn't matter. Pretty much that's his thought process right now, because he's still kind of a dick, but you know what I mean. With Izuku saying, "Why, yes, sir, there is bullies here," pretty much playing along. Not like acting, but actually making it sound general. Saying, "There are a lot of bullies in your class, sir, but mostly being covered up by this teacher." Pretty much pointing at the teacher, with the teacher getting extremely pissed, and a lot of students can notice it. And some of them sorry for that, and pretty much the teachers noticing this, and also some of the students that are in the front row, and some that are close to the front row, but whatever, let's continue. With Izuku saying yes, and pretty much explaining that the teacher was covering up, and being pretty much saying that he was getting paid to get better grades from the students and stuff like that. And pretty much also telling him to stop, to also make some of the students that were actually working hard and have given answers correct, to make them look like they got it wrong. Pretty much playing favoritism. With every student hearing this, everyone's just saying, "Boo! Mr. Narukami, boo! Get out of here!" Pretty much every student. And pretty much the principal saying, "Also, I have one question left." Izuku saying, "Of course, teacher, Mr. Principal, what is it?" "May I ask the names of these bullies?" Pretty much every bully was like their heart. It felt like their blood ran cold. It literally felt like they had a mini heart. It felt like their heart stopped for a second. Instantly, Izuku just smiled and said, "Why, of course, sir. I would love to say their names." And pretty much says, "These people are pretty much popular in our school, and it's pretty much they're well known too for academics, and also one from the club, athlete club, and the other one for being a president for a club itself." And pretty much selling out, pretty much tattletelling on every bully here, except for Bakugo, because Bakugo didn't do any of that. He was just focusing on he's pretty much someone that just did that, and mostly did the bark but no bite. He was just mostly talking smack but not actually doing anything, you know what I mean? Well, for my what if, that is. Instantly, pretty much, the principal says, "Oh, I would like every student that Midoriya called upon to get up on stage. And pretty much every single bully that he called out was standing up and were pretty much tearing up. Some of them were tearing up, some of them were extremely fuming, some of them were just scared. All these mixed emotions. Instantly, they all went up to stage. And pretty much said, and the teacher and the principals asked, "Is this all true that you bullied students? May I ask why?" Some of the students just said because they deserved it. Some of them said because they had. Some of them did it for some of them said that it was for dumb reasons. Some of them said it was for valid reasons. Some of them said it was for extremely stupid reasons. One was because I'm just gonna make up the situations why. One was because someone had a really cool quirk, one flashy quirk. Bakugo saw the quirk and he thought it was pretty cool and thought it was pretty powerful if someone knew how to use it. He's kind of like, in this what if he is a dick, but he's kind of like a tsundere in a way. In my what if, he's kind of like a tsundere. It's like he hides what he's actually thinking, but he just barks. You know what I mean? He's like a Pomeranian. So pretty much, I digress. And pretty much the principal is extremely disappointed. Saying, "I am disappointed in all of you. I want every student in my school to feel safe, to feel proud of what they work for, what they represent for themselves. School is a place of learning, to grow, to help nurture for the future. And you bullies, you students bully them to try to get to not be able to nurture themselves, even some beyond repairing, some even worse. And you said you want to be heroes. Heroes don't have that. Heroes don't have that type of mentality. Heroes try to help others. Heroes, people that are real heroes, or students that are real heroes, or like Izuku, young Midoriya here, pretty much giving the example saying that I want to ask something for the audience here. Is it true that Midoriya tried to help every single one of you, and actually the students, even the ones that were getting bullied, said, pretty much yelled out yes? And he kept saying that, did he try to lift up your spirits? Try to make you even more confident in yourself? Every student, of course, replies yes in unison. And pretty much says, did he try to belittle you? Or try to make you feel not worth anything? With the students, of course, all of them saying no. With instantly the principal looking back at them saying, heroes don't look down on others. They try to raise them. Try to raise them high up near the sky, so they can become strong and help others to pay that action forward. And you, even you, Mr. Harukami, thought of maybe making everything more difficult for students. And you decided that it was okay to belittle them, to not care for them. But let me tell you this. Consequences have reactions, and whatever you do, have you ever heard the saying, what goes around comes around? Your consequences have now caught up to all of you. And here and now, all of you must decide of what you might do after this. For you, Mr. Harukami, you are fired. You can go to any other school, or you may not be able to have a job at all. All of you students that were bullying have a 3-week suspension for bullying and harassment. And I want all of you to think of what you have done and what wrongs you have done. To think clearly. And after that, you'll write a report to me of an apology letter, and after those 3 weeks, we will have a meeting with the parents and the students that you have all bullied. Do I make myself clear? With every bully extremely angered by this, some of them feeling regret for what they did, some of them not caring and just pretty much have that attitude like they wanted to bully them because it's fun, kind of like that. And pretty much instantly, all the students just said, "Yes, sir." Instantly, the one student walked up to the mic saying, "I want to apologize right here and now. Even though I may not do anything, I'm deeply sorry for my actions. You can hate me right now for whatever I did, but I hope I'm not asking for forgiveness, but I hope you can accept my apology. That's all I ask for. You can hate me all you want here and now. It doesn't matter anymore." Pretty much, Izuku was shocked for that one student that actually was able to grow a pair and just say it out loud right here and now. With Izuku going up to him and just putting his hand on his shoulder, instantly with the bully looking at Izuku saying, "It looks like you finally been able to see what wrongs you did. You'll be able to get a second chance, but first you have to work for it. It won't come freely, but you will get it one day. Just work hard." With the student just kind of hearing this, he kind of teared up. He just said, "Thank you. I'll work hard. Become a better person. Thank you, Midoriya." With Izuku just smiled and just said, and pretty much all the students look at Izuku and just yell out his name, like cheering him, saying, "Izuku Midoriya, Izuku Midoriya," pretty much cheering his name. Instantly, the teacher was looking at Izuku. Izuku was not facing him. Instantly, the teacher, Mr. Narukami, looked at Izuku with fear, with complete anger and hatred, with instantly thinking, "That brat ruined everything. He made me get fired. It was all his fault." Pretty much, he started using his quirk. And instantly, and I'm just gonna say that his quirk is pretty much, remember like when he's able to use his arms as swords? Pretty much, he pushes all the students away. And pretty much, the principal didn't just kind of says, "What are you doing?" Pretty much goes towards him and says, "What are you doing, Mr. Narukami? You have to leave. Go get your supplies in the office and leave now. Also, students, this is all. You may begin with class, and I shall be teaching the class personally from now on." Pretty much, the teacher was getting fumed, and it's like his whole body was turning red. And then when he used his quirk, and his arm turned into a sword, it looked like it was starting to become more and more black, like the metal. With the principal saying, "Mr. Narukami, calm yourself, damn it, and go to the office, now!" And some of the students couldn't move because of fear. And the bullies were backing up because they don't know what was happening. And Narukami goes and puts his arm on Izuku's shoulder saying, "You damn brat. You told on me, didn't you?" With Izuku just saying, "I didn't. You sold yourself out for keeping that loud mouth, that big mouth talking. That was none of my fault. That was yours for just non-stop talking." And that pretty much was the last straw for Mr. Narukami. With him about to pretty much attack Izuku, everyone was screaming for Izuku, with Serena saying, "Izuku!" Instantly, the teacher was pushed back. Him being confused, he thought it was a kid that used his quirk, saying, "God damn it! Who did it? Who used their quirk? Come out now!" Being extremely, extremely angry. Furious. With Izuku saying, "Mr. Narukami, I think you shouldn't be blaming others. You shouldn't be blaming others for your failure. It's your fault. no one is to blame but for yourself, for your own actions. With Mr. Narukami saying, "Shut up, brat. I won't be told a lesson by a brat like you with no quirk." Extremely angry. He literally looks like a villain at this point. Instantly, he pretty much goes and just instantly throws his arm. But something happens. Everyone was waiting for like a shing, for hearing like a blood, something hit the ground, but nothing. Instantly, they all think what they don't know what they're seeing. They're seeing Izuku using his quirk, which is technically the Force. He's holding the teacher in place, with the teacher saying, "What the? Huh? What the hell?" And looks around saying, "Who the hell is using their fucking quirk?" Yelling out extremely loud. Everyone's scared and shocked. With the principal and other teachers are getting out of their little trance. Instantly, let's say a teacher with metal quirk was able to hold on to the teacher with the sword quirk and putting him down to the ground. With them saying, "Who the," and pretty much him saying the same thing what I said before, saying, "Who the hell used their fucking quirk? Tell me, you coward!" Instantly, Izuku said, looked at the Mr. Narukami's eyes, and he did, like the Jedi mind trick he did. He says, "You will go to sleep." And Narukami says, "What the fuck are you?" Instantly fell asleep. With the teachers and some of the students that were in the front row, and also the bullies that were standing right there on stage, shocked, saying that Izuku had this little manipulation mind quirk. With Izuku saying, "I think that's enough. I think he'll be out for hours. Call the police to get this madman to prison or jail for attempted murder." The teachers just listened, and the principal instantly called the police. Pretty much, Mr. Narukami got taken by the police, and everything got better at the school after that incident. And pretty much it did go on the news, but Izuku didn't take the credit because some of the students actually kept quiet, and they actually said it's for some student that used his quirk and saved a quirkless kid's life. Well, the people that were in the front row actually, and also the students that were there, kind of kept quiet because it's something that they shouldn't talk about since they did horrible things. And so they kind of went through the story with some unknown student stopped and saved a quirkless kid. And some of the students say that Izuku is a hero for them because there were bullies there, and there was the teacher, used to be teacher, was just abusing the little money, pretty much saying the same thing. And pretty much going to Izuku saying that, "How do you feel about this? Do you feel like you'll become a better hero, even though you're quirkless?" With Izuku saying, "Yeah, I would love to be a hero. Even though I'm quirkless, I know there's a lot of obstacles in the way, but I'll work hard, and I'll try to be the first quirkless hero. Or, who knows, maybe I'm just a late bloomer." Pretty much just pretty much just laughing, with the news team just signing off there. Instantly, and also, pretty much, the picture of that specific teacher, saying that and here's Mr. Narukami, the one that tried to murder one of his students after being caught red-handed for being corrupted. And we zoom out of the news, seeing a TV, and just hear someone saying, "I think he will be a good addition to the League of Villains." Instantly, pretty much, we just skip after pretty much the whole middle school. Everything went the same as canon with the inclusion of Serena. Pretty much Serena being more confident in herself, and pretty much, of course, the parent art talked, and principal made a meeting for each student and also each parent of the student that was bullied, and the bully's parents, and pretty much the bully pretty much apologizing, and pretty much the suspension thing. And of course, everything got better in the high school. everything became much better in a positive way. Izuku being known as the hero of the school because he stopped something that was happening for a long time. And everyone was happy about it. And this is where we go to the canon of the anime. Pretty much Izuku running with Serena saying, "We're gonna be late! Damn it!" Serena saying, "Wait, hold on!" Instantly taking out her little something to pretty much pressing a button in her backpack saying, "This will work." Instantly holding on to Izuku's hoodie, with Izuku saying, "Did you finally finish that little project you were working on?" With, of course, Serena saying, "Yeah, thanks to Mom I was able to invent some stuff. And I have a little bit of pet projects for myself too." Instantly, Izuku just says, "Fine, but come on, let's hurry." And pretty much, the same thing as canon. Izuku sees a fight saying, "Wait, there's a fight there! We should..." Instantly, Serena says, "No. Right now we're gonna be late. You can write some of it when you see other things, okay? Not now." Pretty much, Izuku was a bit sad, saying, "But the hero, what about the fight?" With Serena saying, "No, not now. We'll be late for school, idiot." Pretty much, Izuku pouts saying, "Okay." Kind of like that. With Serena just kind of blushing a bit, saying, just thinking, saying, "You're always so cute when you see heroes and villains fight. Damn it. When do I confess? Maybe after today? In the roof?" Pretty much, this is the day when Serena would confess to Izuku. Not yet, though. But pretty much, both Izuku and Serena pretty much go through the window because of Serena's little jetpack. With everyone saying Serena, and some of them yelling out, "Serena! Izuku!" Pretty much, and one of the students pretty much opened the windows, and pretty much they both get into the same class. Of course, they're both in the same class, which the bell barely rings, and pretty much that one student that opened the window, with Serena saying, "Thanks for opening the window," pretty much breathing heavily and sweating a lot, with Izuku just kind of being a bit sad still, with the student noticing and saying, "Izuku, why are you sad?" With Izuku saying, "Because there was a fight and I wanted to see it." With the student just saying, "Oh, so that's why." And also, Serena, what did you have there? With Serena saying, "Oh, I invented a jetpack, actually. Well, in my own design. Thanks to the help of my mom. See?" Pretty much, she presses the button again, which the jetpack actually turns into a regular backpack. With all the students being surprised, saying, "Whoa, Serena, that's so cool. Are you gonna be an inventor or what?" With Serena saying, "I want to be an inventor also and go to UA, but also want to be a hero, you know?" With the students saying, "Yeah, even though you're quirkless, I bet even your inventions will be able to help you get a few leg ups, you know? Leg ups, and I see that. You're gonna be an awesome inventor and hero, Serena." With Serena just smiling, saying, "Thanks." And that's when opens the door and saying, "Come, okay, children, sit down, everyone. I know you're all excited since this is technically the last day until break. But all of you, remember, we still have school. Until the class ends, all of you can enjoy and have fun, or prepare for high school, wherever you're gonna go." Pretty much everything went the same as canon, with the teacher saying, and pretty much smiling. "Now, I know all of you want to be heroes, and I see that every one of you have potential. I really do. Everyone in this school have potential to be heroes. But you have to dedicate to that time to become a hero." And here we go. Pretty much tells that like every school that some of the students are going, and some students are just wanting to go straight to work, you know, with the teachers like okay, pretty much okay with it, and ask, what do you think of working as, sir, as the student to this he has to this student, with a female student, and she says, I want to be an idol and make people happy, and this is one of the students that were bullied, and I want them to feel like they're not alone. With the teacher saying, that's a good way of thinking it. I'll see the future. I see that future. It will be tough, but are you determined enough to do it? With the student just shaking her head and saying, yes, I will. Pretty much also going through other students, some of them saying that they want to be singers, and some of them embarrassingly saying that they want to be making like a flower shop. One of them says that he wants to make a flower shop. One of them says that he wants to be able to help the poor and also make a bit of a company for able to help the homeless and stuff like that. Kind of like that. And pretty much some of these students actually change because of Izuku's personality. Actually, most of the school, because of Izuku's personality, and also for what he did for the school, for a positive way. And instantly he goes to Bakugo saying, Bakugo Katsuki, you want to go to UA? That is very ambitious, young man. I wish you luck. With Bakugo saying, yeah, whatever. Thanks, I guess. Pretty much being a bit chill because he's just trying to focus on going to UA and not doing anything else. Pretty much, he's still pretty much an asshole, but he mostly does it when someone tries to talk smack to him. You know what I mean? Or sometimes when people annoy him. So pretty much. And he says, Izuku, you want to go to UA too. I wish you the best of luck. And try to be the best. Try your best, young man. I can see you have a lot of potential. Everyone does here. Pretty much, and he goes to Serena saying, Serena, you would like to go to UA too. I did not see that coming, but still. I like your ambition, young lady. I really do hope you make it. Instantly, all of the students look at them saying, wow, Bakugo, because of Bakugo, I think he may be able to make it to UA. And some of the kids go to Izuku saying, even though Izuku's quirkless, he may have a chance still. And some of them say Serena, maybe because of Serena's gadget, she will have an amazing chance to becoming a hero. That's so cool. Pretty much, giving them compliments to all three of them, with Bakugo just kind of being the same jerk, saying, whatever, extras. And kind of a bit annoyed that Izuku and Serena are going to go to UA. Instantly, everything goes the same as canon, with Izuku, but with the inclusion of Izuku, with Serena walking home. Instantly, Izuku pretty much, he walks the same path as canon, with Izuku pretty much sensing something is wrong. With Serena saying this thing, Izuku, are you... Instantly, Izuku says, look out! Instantly jumps towards her. And also, by the way, she didn't confess to Izuku because she kind of chickened out. Pretty much, she actually chickened out on asking the question. But pretty much, she didn't ask for him to meet her in the roof. But I digress. Pretty much, Izuku pretty much pushing her out of the way, with Izuku feeling something soft and bouncy, saying, what's... And pretty much he looks up and looks at Serena and sees that he is touching her chest. Yes. With Serena blushing red hard, with Izuku standing up saying, sorry. With Serena saying, it's fine. It's fine. Pretty much with the slime villain saying, give me your body, kid. With Izuku saying, ugh, gross. With slime villain being a bit annoyed, saying, what you say, brat? With pretty much the slime villain attacking Izuku, but of course Izuku using the force, he uses it to stop the villain. Instantly, he uses the force to he does the little wave motion to say, you fall asleep, pretty much like that. And of course, the slime villain fell asleep easily. Instantly, All Might appears saying, don't fear, because I am here! Same as canon, But he sees Izuku putting the slime villain in a bottle. Well, 2 bottles, actually. Instantly, and also Serena helps him put him in the bottles with saying, young man, are you okay? You too, young miss, are you also okay? With Izuku still being a bit of a fanboy, and also Serena actually kind of being a bit starstruck, saying, All Might? Pretty much yelling out All Might, saying, like, All Might! Both of them being excited. Instantly, Izuku asked for his autograph, with also Serena also asking for his autograph, with All Might, of course, saying, Of course! Anything for a fan! With pretty much about to sign Izuku's notebook, saying, So, what is your name, young man? With Izuku saying, Izuku Midoriya. With All Might saying, Izuku Midoriya? I remember you. You're from the news a few years ago. My, you are quite brave. With Izuku saying, Huh? With All Might saying, You are a splendid young man with great character. I wish you the best of luck to becoming a hero. Even though you may be quirkless, there is a lot of things in this world that are possible. Some things that may look impossible can be possible. Besides, we have quirks. We have powers. Anything is possible here. You just have to work hard enough to work for it. With Izuku and Serena being pretty much being inspired by this, of course, they said, Yes, sir! Pretty much excitedly. Instantly, All Might takes the bottle and just says, Well, see you both. Have good luck! And pretty much, he jumps away. The slime villain incident doesn't happen because I want to do this little moment. And pretty much, they walk back home with Izuku looking at his signature, and looking at All Might's signature, and just being extremely happy. With Serena looking at Izuku, being happy for him. And she just decides saying, Izuku? And Izuku just looks at Serena saying, Yeah? Instantly, it's starting getting more dark, but the night looked beautiful. All the stars were shining brightly. Even the comet. There was a little star shower going down. And Serena looked up saying, I want to tell you something. With Izuku saying, Sure, tell me when we're walking home. With Serena saying, I know, it's something very important. Izuku saying, Sure. They're both walking a bit slower. With Serena saying, I pretty much being nervous, saying, pretty much just yelling out, saying, I'm in love with you, pretty much like that. She actually does say, I'm in love with you, to Izuku. With Izuku just shocked and stops in his tracks. And he's like standing there, like just shocked, like dumbfounded. With Serena saying, and she just waves at her hand in front of Izuku, saying, Izuku, are you there? Pretty much, in Izuku's mind, he's like, he has feelings for me too. She's in love with me. Pretty much, the man is flustered. His mind is not broken, but still, he's kind of flustered. Instantly going back to reality, snapping back to reality, saying, I'm pretty much blushing completely red. With Serena noticing this, saying, pretty much, Izuku starting saying, I also have feelings. I also love you too, Serena. And Serena, hearing that, she blushed red as pretty much the same shade of red that Izuku was, which is pretty bright red. Like, it's a cute moment. And Serena just said, "Oh, okay, it's just, will you be my boyfriend?" With Izuku, of course, stuttering with a yes. And Izuku says, "Do you want to hold hands while walking?" Serena saying, "Yeah, sure." pretty much they hold hands and walk back home. Izuku walks Serena home, and pretty much when Serena was about to open the door, she goes back and kisses Izuku on the cheek. And she just runs back inside, with Izuku just standing there, shocked. He's thinking, saying, "What just happened?" With Serena inside the door, she's like, you know, like when people are extremely embarrassed and they like curl up. She's like, "Oh my god, I kissed him, oh my god, like kind of like that. And Izuku was just walking home, kind of trying to gather what the hell just happened. Pretty much, Serena asked him out, and pretty much Izuku was happy about it and agreed to be her boyfriend. And Izuku, kind of gathering this information now, he's yelling out into the sky saying, "Yeah!" And went back home, and both Hisashi and Inko noticed that Izuku's really happy, with Hisashi saying, "So, how was your day, son?" With Izuku saying, "The best time of my life." And that's where I'm going to end it off. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys have a great day, have a great afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Take care, all of y'all. Bye. Love y'all.